For those with good taste.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boys from For Those with Good Taste. I'm Matt. He's Lenny.
Hello, I am. What's up?
We're in the building. Welcome back, everybody.
Turned up to
We're-
100.
We're up to the max right now. And in order for you guys to be up to the max, be on par with us, got to hit the subscribe button, got to hit us in the comments, and maybe mash up that like button a little bit.
It's like you're saying they can't get into the club if they don't hit the like button.
Yeah, I can't even talk to you.
Yeah.
If you're not in the club, what are you doing here?
You're behind that red velvet, like...
Rope?
Yeah, I was going to say cake because I'm still hung up on cake from our last outing.
Man.
3, 2, 1.
Spoiler? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, so if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. The gentleman, our guy D, in the building. We introduced our new ranking
Scoring
system. Yeah, so
yeah.
Definitely check that out.
I
Here
would
we
say
are,
that
though, Matt.
scoring system was some prime rib, huh?
It was definitely some filet mignon.
Wasn't no bologna.
What a moment.
We ain't
dude.
talking about
What a
bologna.
moment in time bologna was. If you haven't seen that, that is maybe the best moment in For Those with Good Taste.
Man, it feels like such a long time since we've been here with D, but it feels good to be back in here.
Yeah, dude. Well, welcome back into the building.
What have you been up to, buddy?
Me personally, just eagerly awaiting our next podcast.
Yeah, I hear that.
Just stacking up takes, stacking up trailers. That's going to be a big theme of this episode.
Ooh.
Is we're doing a lot of trailer deep dives. So bear with us as far as like we're maybe a little dated on our reactions to some of this stuff, but we still got time before they come out. We're pumped about them. Got a bunch of good news here. But
Last
Matt,
time I checked, trailers are on demand.
that's
You
fair.
can check them
That's
out
fair.
whenever the hell you want.
I think everything's on demand now.
Yeah,
Actually,
buddy.
Quite frankly.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So what I wanted to bring up though, Matt, and this is more, important to you than it is to me, dude. There's something big going on for you right now, dude. There's a bright thing in the sky, a silver lining that's happening for you.
I thought you were going to say Mars is in retrograde or something.
No, I have been watching the rover though that they have up there.
Oh,
They
okay.
had this whole thing about how there's like a body of water on Mars. There's a picture that matches up with like a Scottish like lake. I don't know. It was a weird thing. I read like a 2-second article.
This is why people think the Earth is flat, dude. Because we just keep making shit up and telling us, there's the exact same lake on Mars that there is in Ireland. Go figure.
Dude, somehow
They're going to find the Nile River up there.
I wonder if it's a reflection.
I would say everything is a reflection.
So more importantly, though, dude, what's going on in your life? And I'm glad I can share this with you. Congratulations, dude.
What's that, buddy?
It's time to give you your flowers.
My flowers? Am I dying?
No,
You're burying me?
No, quite frankly, you're probably dancing in the streets because
Why would I be doing that, buddy?
the New York Knicks are over 500.
We don't need to talk about that.
No, we are.
We don't need to
We
talk
are,
about
dude.
that.
You guys are over 500, Matt, for the first time since World War II.
Man, you should have told me that you were going to bring this up
Yeah, dude.
because...
I surprised you.
Oh man, it has been hard. It has been a tough trip for us New York Knicks fans. But we knew, some of us are dead, but we
Yeah.
knew that eventually we were going to get to 500 and we might be possibly talking about finishing over 500 and who knows, maybe playoffs.
We're talking playoffs.
I used to say we couldn't even win a game.
I'd like to also point out, not to like put the shine on myself and say how great I am, but you passed my favorite team in the rankings to get to over 500, and I'm still bringing this up and saying, congrats, buddy.
Listen, man, you're one to give out flowers when they're needed to be given out.
Yeah.
And listen, man, the Knicks probably aren't going to be up there that long. I will stay pessimistically optimistic.
That's a big saying that we have. We're probably going to have to put that on a shirt.
I mean, it should be a shirt. It should be on sneakers.
We spend our lives being pessimistically optimistic.
I spend my life making up words. That's what I've noticed. But
that's probably in the Webster, dude. Do you see how much bullshit gets added to the Webster? Like, I think LOL is in the Webster dictionary at this point.
I lost faith in Webster ever since Bootylicious made it in.
Did Beyonce made it in there?
Yeah, Bootylicious has been in there since like 05, dude.
Can I segue us for a second to something I thought about the other day?
I would hope so.
I was driving home and I have a playlist. If you go to our
He was
link tree,
listening to Bootylicious.
no, I wasn't, but it's kind of. So if you go to our link tree, you can find that For Those with Good Taste on Instagram. The link's there to our link tree. There's a playlist that I have called For Those with Good Taste. Right?
On Spotify.
It is. It's on Spotify. It's the same place you can find our podcast. But I was listening to that playlist on shuffle. And I have some Destiny's Child songs on
Sure you
there.
do.
So I think Say My Name came on. And Beyonce's just fucking killing it. I'm jamming out. I remember Where on the Road I Am. Like I this whole thing is like painting a picture in
We're
my
getting
head.
a behind the scenes of Lenny's life right now.
And I found myself thinking like, dude, Destiny's Child Beyonce is way better than solo Beyonce. And I don't know, is that a hot take?
That might be a hot take, but I think it might be. It's an ill-advised hot take, man.
It's no, dude.
Yeah,
You're not going to tell me
dude.
that Destiny's Child Beyonce, fucking bills, dude.
Listen, man, I hear
Are
you.
you going to pay my
but
automobiles, dude?
Beyonce in Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child Beyonce is like a caterpillar who hadn't found its cocoon yet.
I don't know, man.
Because Dangerously in Love. Okay.
Survivor.
Not going to argue with, man. Survivor's part of my Get Psych mix every day of the week. But you can't beat solo Beyonce because technically solo Beyonce is Jay-Z Beyonce. And they just made something bigger than what the world should understand.
Like 03 Bonnie and Clyde. I'm with it.
Hov and B,
but
dude.
I don't know. Maybe that's controversial. Let me know. Thanks for reminding me of that, though, because that was really great to be back in that moment in my car again when Say My Name came on.
Oh, hot takes, man. We're all about them. But no, man, I'm excited. The Knicks, we've got nowhere to go but up, and it feels good that you brought it up,
Matt. Funny you say that, though. I hate to burst your bubble at all here because
I don't like bubbles.
This is a big moment for you. But I think you could say better than anybody that when you say there's nowhere to go but up,
it's because
frankly, you've lived your whole time down, so there's a good chance it could go down from here.
Well, no. So again, we're only at 500, Lenny. You're making it seem like we just won the finals,
Matt,
like all this.
Matt,
buddy.
For the Knicks,
listen,
dude.
I'm the guy who watches the standings, and when they're 17 and 18, I'm like, boy, I'm about to watch tonight's game. I'm about to watch tonight's game. But then you look at SportsCenter and they lost by 30 points and they're 17 and 19.
Not
it feels
this
good
season,
to be at 500, man. We've got some hot prospects.
Julius Randle is a some bitch, dude.
Who needs Zion when you've got Julius Randle?
Mm-hmm.
Is what I say.
Yeah, the more developed, better, more league ready version.
Yeah, all I need them to do is just beat the Warriors by 30 like everybody else is doing. And I think we'll be golden gravy.
Dude, I wish you the best of luck. This season, though, does seem like it could set up to be like a get all the way to the playoffs and then just get your soul ripped out from you. But that's what every team in the league is going to be because as far as like as long as the Brooklyn Nets exist,
yeah, you're not getting past
fucked.
it. Yeah, we're all fucked.
Like,
Eastern Conference is screwed.
Yeah.
And to be honest, man, I don't need the Knicks making it to the playoffs and winning a finals because after what we went through in 2020, I don't need another sign that the world is ending.
You just want to sign. I think as Knicks fans, you guys just want to sign that there's better things to come.
I want to sign that there's first round draft picks to come. I'm tired of us just not having first and second round draft picks because we're spending money on a guy who's at home knitting sweatpants.
Bobby Bonilla.
Let's not talk about Bobby B, okay? This man gets paid $1 million every year on the same day. It's just not right, man. New York sports franchise. Is a shit show. Manchester City are killing the game. Let's take it overseas, over to London, baby.
Yeah, you guys are doing well.
Yeah, we're probably in pole position to win the title this year.
Dude, Matt's Manchester Minute. Tell me about it.
Oh, man, Manchester City absolutely dominating the game right now. They're looking at
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. Crazy enough, Manchester City are playing better without him. He was recently injured, just made his return. But we're sporting a smooth 20 wins in a row, which is unheard of in Europe. That's how we're doing it, though. But
who's your goalie?
Ederson Moraes.
How many?
You want a cool hot take?
Okay.
He's a goalkeeper. He has 1 assist for the season. There are top players. I'm not going to throw any names out there. Mesut Ozil, other guys.
Wow. You throwing shots at Mesut, dude?
I mean, Mesut hasn't played in a year, but he's playing now, and he doesn't have any goals or assists. Our goalkeeper has an assist, and it's pretty dope, man. I mean, we're eventually going to get a little bit deeper into these Manchester minutes, but I'm not doing it right now, dude.
Hold on. I don't know enough about soccer to call you on if that's an impressive stat or not. To be like, yeah, my goalie, dude. You don't know how good my fucking goalie is, bro? He has an assist.
So
is that like how
the example that I would give is if Tom Brady caught an interception on defense and scored a touchdown. That's how rare it is.
I don't know
buddy.
if that's like
it's super rare, man.
Okay, all right.
It's not
I'm
that
gonna take
rare.
your word for it.
I mean, that's the best part about Matt's Manchester Minute is it's a one-sided conversation, and I have all the facts.
You know what what else they just gave us the minutes to, Matt?
What's that?
A movie that we've talked about a ton on here.
I mean, I'm gonna assume you're talking Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a weekly staple in what we do.
Yeah, we either talk about Godzilla and Kong, or we talk about Netflix, or we talk about Netflix and Godzilla versus Kong.
If we could find there is a merger of all of that. Actually, there's I'm pretty sure on Netflix there's Godzilla animated series, so we could make a baby.
I think we have enough babies right now.
You're all my children.
I know that you're all my children. I know that you were extremely excited because this is something that you always pay attention to, the length of movies. And they come out with a hot 1 hour, 58 minutes.
It's funny to hear myself put out as I'm a movie time guy.
You're a movie time guy. Yeah, you don't give a shit about how good the movie is.
Yeah,
you just want to know how long it is.
I'm big into length. But you are kind of right though, because I think it is a good indicator as to what your movie's going to be like potentially.
The amount of times that I've been like, hey, how good is that movie? You're like, honestly, man, it's only 1 hour and 31 minutes, so it's not that bad.
Well, so that's very true. That's very true. Because if a movie's under an hour and a half, you have to like it by default. I think
I just appreciate that they put that on and let me spend money for it.
I'm going to tell you right now, as far as my ranking system's probably concerned, you're probably around a piece of cake if you're under an hour and a half for me, because I'm just going to give you a pass for the most part.
You made it to cinema. Congratulations.
Yeah, you did the minimum.
That's a good film.
And I said that's wrong because sometimes it's a real indicator. If they told me this movie, Kong vs. Godzilla, was an hour and a half, I'd be like, well, this is going to be bad.
Well, I mean, it's the shortest time of any of the other movies in the series.
It is, but it's not a huge
2 minutes?
5.
Okay, yeah.
5. So you have it's an hour and 58 minutes. So right, just a tad under 2 hours.
Shade under.
Godzilla was the next shortest. That was at actually no, you're right. I'm sorry, 2 hours. I missed that. That Kong Skull was
okay.
Skull Island was actually only 2 hours long.
I know my maths.
That was a brisk 2 hours.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable tour. I like those movies where it doesn't feel long. That's what she said.
That's why it's the best of the series, because it doesn't feel long.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Godzilla, great, but you don't really see too much fighting, and it's 2 hours and 3 minutes long.
It's a lot of buildup.
King of Monsters is just a clusterfuck of just
good
everything happening.
Yeah.
That's like an anime movie.
Too much good stuff being not bad stuff kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like you enjoy what you get, but it could be a little bit overwhelming if you're not ready for it.
Some weird math, but I think it made sense.
Yeah, good stuff.
So an hour and 58 minutes. I think I'm hopeful. You don't want to overstay your welcome, and I think the same way we're saying an hour and a half is kind of a bad sign potentially. If it went 2.5 hours, I'd be like, that's going to be a nightmare.
I'd be concerned.
Yeah, I don't want to sit in the movie.
Like, you gave me too much.
And how many different storylines are there going to be at that point? Like, this seems like 2 hours seems like it's going to be a nice condensed, well put together movie. Hopefully.
Like, I'm going to get enough backstory, but I'm probably going to get the action sequences that are going to get me through a hot take.
I think our next conversation for next week about this movie, just to really let everybody know what's ahead of them.
If you don't know that we're a fan of this series.
Well, that's what I was going to say, though, is are we going to burn ourselves out is going to be next week's conversation.
No.
Am I going to potentially get myself so gaslighted for this movie that I'm going to fucking hate it?
No, I do think we need to be cautiously optimistic.
No,
that's something that we pessimistically optimistic, because that's really the way that we need to keep things in order for us to enjoy some of the content that we watched. Mm-hmm. Because as much as we're building this up, there is always a chance that this movie, according to Rotten Tomatoes, could suck.
The all-knowing tomato.
Yeah, and since when do we start listening to fruit, dude? Especially fruit that doesn't even make it into the family of fruits.
We're teetering down a weird lane here.
I know, man. Friend. I apologize. But I'm excited about it. I mean, an hour and 58 minutes means it's not a 2-hour movie, and the credits should eat up probably about 5 minutes of that. So I think it's going to be a prime movie.
That's enough time for a popcorn and a large soda if they let me have it at the movies. So.
Oh, good. Best question ever. You going to watch this one in theaters?
I have to imagine this is, I mean, I feel like I've said this already. It has to be one that I'm going to see in the movie theaters. If, it all depends what it looks like. On the plus side,
we don't know if we repeat ourselves because nobody tells us in the comments.
That's a good point.
Make sure to jump in the comments. Let us know if we're repeating ourselves.
Before. I was going to say, though, plus side is AMC theater stock on its way back up, everybody out there. Your boy was down sign. For a little bit. He's on his way back out of the hole. So that's a real plus. Buy AMC stock to help me out, though, out there. But I don't really care because they don't pay me.
Maybe also don't give trade tips in the middle of Good Taste Weekly.
I'm an expert.
No, I know you've had one app for trading,
and I've done it for 4 months. Yeah, I know everything there is.
I don't know if buying penny stocks is a good reference point.
let's get back onto things that we can actually have opinions on. And I mean, I guess I can
Some would say we have
microphone.
too many opinions on Kong versus Godzilla, but we're excited for it. Runtime's out. Let us know what you think. But you know what else is out, buddy?
The trailer of sorts.
Would you call it a trailer? It's more of a teaser.
Okay, a teaser.
Yeah,
okay,
I think
like
that's the
that.
proper
Yeah,
term.
It was a teaser.
Yeah.
They teased us about Spider-Man and how Tom Holland likes to, give away the plot of movies.
He does that a lot, doesn't he?
They didn't make it a so subtle joke in the teaser.
How does he keep his job?
I mean, he's great at it.
I know he's really good.
It's that easy, dude. Like, how did I don't want to throw.
Yeah, don't
I
take
didn't
us down a weird.
I was gonna
Like,
I
how
was
did
gonna
Bill
insult.
Clinton keep his job?
Well, so that would thanks. That's actually better than what I was gonna have. So let's go with that one.
Yeah.
Dude, OJ.
Well, that was different. He stopped playing football after he murdered people.
He's still doing. He's got a job now. No,
I don't think you can call. I don't think you can
sports
call.
memorabilia salesman.
I don't think you can call Twitter a job, because at this point he's spending way more time on Twitter than anything else. But if you're spending your time on Twitter,
You probably saw this teaser.
you probably saw the teaser for Spider-Man: No Way Home. It has a name, so there's no more speculation, no more hot gossip on what the new installment's going to be.
If anything, this brought more confirmation than speculation.
Yeah, it helped answer a few questions, at least to what extent we're going to be, what direction we're taking with this film. What'd you think?
Of the name, it's.
Oh, there's a lot
I'm
of
not
that
like
name.
I'm not blown away by it, but I think that it makes a lot of sense if we are in fact going to get him like lost in the Spider-Verse or something like that. It made me think like Madam Web. Can we get a Madam Web a sighting in this?
Yeah.
Does that make sense in an actual movie universe?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
I mean, if you
There's
do
a weird little room she had set up there.
yeah, if you do a multiverse, dude, it really opens up all the possibilities. I don't think you can shut any of those doors. I am a bit concerned though, because when I first saw this headline, No Way Home, I was like, man, are they actually going to stick to maybe giving us some repercussions for his identity being thrown out there at Far From Home?
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions.
Like No Way Home could be he's on the run. Yeah.
Like he's on the run. He's got to answer a lot of questions. But when I looked more into it, I'm like, man, Marvel doesn't do a good job at closing doors like that. Like they'll usually leave something up there like that and like, we're going to do a sequel. And then you just never get your questions answered. So if they do jump into a multiverse, is the multiverse how he escapes from the persecution of being Spider-Man? What's to come?
Do you think they've pigeonholed themselves a little much with having the word home in all of their titles? Like,
Yeah.
Is it okay if they go away from that? I mean, I don't mind having a theme to what they're doing here, but at the same time, it is like, why do they all have to have home in them? What value is that necessarily like adding? I guess it's like a cool little gimmick shtick, so to speak.
It almost makes it seem like a TV show, and you're going to have a cool little tagline for everything that the character goes through.
Mm-hmm.
With Homecoming, we get reintroduced to our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man as a new person. Somebody that we knew from Civil War, but he gets his own backstory. Then we get Far From Home, and I don't really know if that trailer. Hey, Bailey.
What's up, B?
I don't know if that actually ties into the movie at all.
So, I mean, Far From Home, obviously, it's like he wasn't at home, so it made
Yeah, he's
sense
overseas.
where it got from that. Like, and maybe we're reading too much to it, because what more did Far From Home really lend to the title? Somebody out there's probably got like a good answer to this.
We won't know until they hit us in the comments.
But what did that really lend to the movie other than the fact that he was overseas? And so maybe we're reading too much into No Way Home, and maybe it doesn't
Because No Way Home does make sense in both of those instances. Maybe he's on the run, or maybe he gets stuck in this multiverse and just isn't able to come back to the universe that is his own.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of questions.
Well,
to
I mean,
asked.
he'll have to get some help, I suppose. Like, that's where Doctor Strange is going to come in. He's supposed to be in this one. So
and Peter Porker. I hope we get Peter Porker.
Well, that'd be a cool. Like, do you think there's a world where we get like, because they've already announced like 1 million people to be in this movie, so they somehow cross over with the animated world?
I just hope it's not one of those things where they give us so many different name members for a cast, and then you under deliver on like some of the Easter egg stuff.
Oh well, I guarantee you, some of this is going to be really quick in and out stuff.
No, don't say that.
I have to.
That's my inner fan being upset. It's what Marvel does. I am excited for it. I do think that there's a lot of possibilities that, we will get to see a new side of the storyline. We just don't know what that is yet.
Yeah. So the other news out here with Tom Holland, our guy Tom Holland, right now, he had some stuff to say about Uncharted, a game franchise that for me I'm a big fan of. It's one of my favorite overall, I think, franchises. I enjoy the gameplay a lot. The games get a little repetitive in some ways, but the gameplay, and especially the character of Nathan Drake, the character he's going to be playing, it's great. I think he's a really iconic like video game character. So this is a movie a video game I always thought could really lend itself to becoming a really good movie.
Yeah.
He came out though and he reviewed his own performance, which is kind of odd, and I wanted to talk about it just because I can't think of a lot of times, and I'll get into what he actually said in a second, but where you get an honest bit of feedback from an actor before a film's even come out. So he was talking about his performance, and he was kind of saying, and I'm paraphrasing this, that he didn't like maybe the bravado that he had in some scenes, and that he was trying to be a little too like, I'm an action star now. And he wanted to like
channeling his inner Stallone.
When this like the Drake like poses that you can do in video games with like the light hits you perfectly and all that shit. Like he was kind of just trying to
play into that.
And he was saying that he wishes maybe, or something he's learned from that is that he wouldn't do that again. And I really appreciate something that we've seen and we talked about. The reason this kid gets caught up giving out spoilers so often is he's probably just too honest.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. He seems like a kid who just kind of lets his emotions live on his sleeve, and he's going to.
I think that's why he works so well at Spider-Man, though, right?
Yeah,
like he seemed like a kid.
Genuine.
When you've seen him from the first second you saw him in Civil War till now, I think you've just looked at him as like that
childish,
energy,
kiddish,
that is there with him. So yeah,
it does bring the question when you say, we haven't really seen that before. You don't get a lot of feedback from a big star on a performance. It'd be great to see, someone like a RDJ say, hey, I really felt like I wasn't as good in Sherlock Holmes 1 as I was in Sherlock Holmes 2 before it ever comes out.
You definitely get instances of people being like years later
after,
like, fuck yeah, that was a bad choice,
because
I knew that movie was going to be dog shit. I remember doing like the interviews and saying it was good and being like I was a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and you're probably instructed by whoever's handling the movie, whoever's doing promotion, like, hey, we know that's how you feel, don't say anything, right? Don't answer any questions about your takes on the film or filming and all that until after. With Tom Holland, we've spoke about, he's very outspoken. He's this generation's Spider-Man, I guess you could say. So he's a younger guy. He needs to be with social media and, contact and communicate with his fans. And he's never been one to shy away from giving out information.
So I guess the big question coming out of this then poses as does this negatively impact your expectation for the movie? Or does it is this something you're just going to pay attention to when you watch it? Does it matter? Like, I don't even know. Does this matter at all?
No, I don't think it does, at least not for me. And feel free if it does for you. Because for me, I watch films with a complete open mind. As much as you can, honestly. I'm one of those people that I like most movies that people don't for different reasons. This just makes me more interested in seeing what he was able to do with the role. And was he being too hard on himself? Maybe this is one of those things where he's gotten so good at his craft that he's just over critiquing himself.
Well, that's definitely a real possibility, is that we're all our own worst critics, right? And that he probably like is a fucking psycho, because I'm sure a lot of people who are very good at their job are, where he probably gets home at night after some of these days and you're just like, when you say something stupid and you spend like 2 hours like
or 3 days
replaying that moment and you're like, I'm so fucking dumb.
Yeah, taking showers are hard. You're like, fuck, man, why did I say that at dinner the other night?
Have you ever seen the movie Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds?
Have I?
You know the part where he gets done with like the date and he goes back to his car and he's just like losing it in the fucking car, like freaking out.
Most relatable moment ever.
And she realizes she forgot her gloves, so she comes back and she just awkwardly like stands outside the car while he just flips the fuck out.
She's just like, left my purse.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like and that's the most like relatable thing in the world. So I imagine he got done with a couple days of doing the shoot and he was like, dude, why the fuck did I stand there like that? And everybody was just looking at me like, dude, the scene's over. And he's like, I just kept standing there. Why did I fucking do that?
It also could be one of those things where someone else said something to him. Like somebody just giving him feedback, like, hey, had a chance to catch maybe 3 of your scenes. Kind of
Mhm.
seemed like a douche. Don't do that next time. He just like, man, is he?
Am I really a douche?
Was I being a douche that whole time? All right, I gotta go hit Twitter with this right now. Figure out what's going on. No, it doesn't keep me from wanting to watch it. I love Tom Holland enough where this just makes me appreciate him as an artist more, and I want to support him.
All right, and moving on to the main event of our video here.
Co-main event of the evening.
This is I guess this is a co-main event. This is several events going on here. We are a little behind, as I said at the beginning of the video. We didn't get to talk about some of these trailers. Typically, I'm not even a big trailer guy, as you know, Matt. I don't like to spoil things for myself. But due to the fact that we do talk on a podcast weekly,
We want to
now,
sound educated.
it's like one of those things where I have to watch them, and I do actually enjoy them. And all 4 of these trailers, I've watched them at different times. Some of them for the first time today. Some of them I've watched a few times over the past couple weeks, and I think it's given me different perspectives on them. So I'm excited to kind of have a couple weeks to digest some of the stuff I know, and now give my take rather than just off the shoot from the hip.
Yeah, I don't always appreciate those guys who are giving me instant takes. It's
Mhm.
like, 2 seconds after the trailer. I'm like, man, I don't even know if I understood the trailer yet.
Sometimes it's not fun to be the first person who shows up at a party.
No,
right?
and then you've said some stuff that it's going to be hard to backtrack on, and you got to deliver.
Well, when you show up first to the party too, the music's not really turned up yet. It's kind of quiet, and you're
Drinks
talking.
aren't even out yet.
Yeah, everybody's awkwardly sober, and you're talking, and it's like, what are you really fucking saying?
Man,
That's who you are when you show up day one.
let
to
me get
the
there with
trailer
everybody's
reactions.
shit face. So I can be like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah,
Let's do
exactly.
this."
Yeah, I want to show up an hour after everybody's been there, so they're a little lubed up, as Tom Brady would say. I'm a little lubed up, and everybody's fucking
I wanna
lubing
be
together,
lubed up, dude.
We're sliding on through. But let's kick it off with a kids trailer, right? Formerly of Disney. Let's talk about our girl Cruella.
Emma Stone.
Pretty awesome.
Oh, man.
I have a ton of questions about this one, Matt.
Yeah, I know.
And I got the vibe because we didn't really share any of our opinions on this, but we did this was my first time seeing the trailer, was an hour ago now.
Meat dose, dude.
Oh, you hadn't seen it before?
I hadn't seen it, no.
Shit, I thought you had saw it.
Nope.
But do you remember Cruella at all from...
Sir,
I know you
I
do.
am Mr.
Fuck,
Disney,
dude.
sir.
Yeah,
What are
you
you
are.
talking
So this
about?
is why I need you, okay?
Talking Glenn
trailer,
Close,
excuse me.
dude? Or are you talking the animated
Equal.
Cruella? I know both of them.
Both, because I don't remember either one.
I know
I've killed
both.
all of those parts of my brain.
Both of them.
I do not know them. So here's what I have to know. So watching this trailer, my biggest issue, I found myself getting really caught up in it the first time. When the birds all fly through and the music kind of hits, I kind of lost myself, and that's why I had to tell you to replay it, because I kind of got lost in the vortex.
Yeah, lost in translation.
What I found was I was like, what is this fucking about?
Yeah.
It's I have no idea what's going on. So I had to replay it. And again, I came out the other end being like, okay, so Cruella looks cool, right? Emma Stone looks like she's great at the fucking role.
Yeah.
There's a charisma about her. She jumps off the screen quite the same way I remember that Glenn Close did.
Spot on.
Right?
Yes.
Visually, it looks amazing. The part that you said looked like the Hunger Games. It reminded me of the Hunger Games instantly when her dress burns away.
Amazing scene.
Again, I have no idea what the movie's about. So share with me, is Cruella an anti-hero? Is she a bad guy?
Oh man, Cruella's the bad guy.
She's just the
and
honest
bad
to God bad
woman.
guy.
Sorry, she's the
But
bad woman.
Did she come off like a bad guy in this trailer?
This is why I think I got excited first watch, because I got excited, but I also got lost in translation. To me, it seemed like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, how we're getting this prequel to how this person became the person that they are.
So you think we're going to get more?
I think this is a prequel, and I think that this is just the introduction of this character.
So you think this is Cruella, but we're going to get a 101 Dalmatians?
Yeah, that's my opinion on this, and I think
Interesting.
your question is she an anti-hero or is she a villain? She is a villain in a story where, for lack of a better word, outside of some cute puppies, it's about her and her overall goal to get what she wants.
Because I definitely only saw a couple dogs in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I like where you're going with this, and it makes this make a little bit more sense to me. Because I was like, there's not a lot of dogs. I saw a couple Dalmatians.
Yeah.
I can't really tell, because was she the owner of said
Well,
Dalmatians?
so this is the thing. So in the cartoon and in the movie with Glenn Close, you're introduced to Cruella as maybe this rich woman who comes from a lot of wealth, She has this air of confidence about her, but she's also kind of a bitch. She comes in, she's smoking cigarettes. She's
The long ones.
yeah, the long ones with the long filter too. It's overall very.
It says I have money. It says like I want to look like I smoke cigarettes, but I don't want all the bad sides.
Says I'm an aristocrat is what it tells me.
Fair
and
enough. Aristocrat. Cat.
That's also another Disney
Disney
movie. What are you
okay.
doing, dude?
Dude,
You
I don't
cut
even
it
know
out
what that's
right
about
now.
either, so
Stop it.
whole other day.
But you're introduced to this woman who you can tell is just something bad about her.
Mhm.
She has a very negative persona, and even to the point in the cartoon, in the animated movie, the dogs run away as her car is pulling up. Like they know this is bad energy coming in. With this trailer, I'm like, ooh, do we get to find out how she becomes this bitch? Like, what's going to happen? And I mean this in the non-derogatory form because she's a very powerful woman.
I thought when you said bitch, you were talking about the dogs.
No. I'm talking Cruella, dude, because in the movies, she's got
Pardon
money.
me.
She wants to spend money. She drives a dope hot rod. She's trying to get these dogs to make a nice fur coat out of them. But this story looks like we're now going to see how she becomes Cruella because she didn't look like the wealthy woman that we know from the film.
No.
We're getting a backstory to
Although
how she becomes that person.
Well, okay, 2 questions. Is magic always been a thing in the 101 One Dalmatian?
We're not
world?
introduced to magic. No.
So she burns the shirt. That looked like magic.
Could be magic, could be fabric and materials.
But she looked like she had a little bit of money when she did that whole ordeal.
I go back to the very first scene where she's just a redhead and she's looking at this very large building and kind of speaking about herself in a different light.
So my last take on this trailer, and we'll move on, okay? The very end of the trailer ends with her staring at the screen and saying, like, I'm Cruella, right? Tell me that if there wasn't, like, they don't do red band trailers anymore from what I know. But if there was a red band trailer, is there a cut of that scene where she's like, I'm Cruella, bitch?
Probably.
There has to be, right? See, it feels like they left the bitch
even if that's not in the movie or part of the cut, Emma Stone probably said it.
At some point, there's a cut of her saying, I'm Cruella, bitch. And
it's that moment.
Feels better if she says that.
It's that moment that almost makes me feel like she stole her wealth. Like she came from underneath the foot of someone else who had all these great things that she wanted, and she took it. And I think her walking into the ball in that beautiful dress that changes, and then we that's our first introduction to the black and white hair. That's her chrysalis, or her changing into what eventually becomes.
How many times are we going to talk about butterflies today?
We're going to use all those, dude.
You been watching the Animal Planet?
A little too much, honestly. Between 60 days in and watching National Geographic specials on Disney Plus, I've got a little bit of a problem.
You're informed in a very niche way. So the next trailer that we got, probably, and I think at the end we're going to rank these in terms of what we're most excited for.
I think so.
To tip my hat, though, here, this is probably the one that's going to be the lowest on the board. This is another one I watched for the first time today, but it had been on my radar for a little bit.
Second time I saw it.
Okay, so Army of the Dead, or Army of Dead.
I think it's Army of the Dead. Yeah, okay. Just typo.
This is a Zack Snyder release. It is going to our favorite streaming platform, Netflix.
Yeah.
So
we use that term loosely.
It's got to be good. It's got to be the best.
It's got to be good.
Yeah. What'd you think of the trailer?
I was neither here nor there about it. I immediately thought I was watching like a video game trailer. And then there was a little bit of the World War Z factor. I'm always interested in zombie movies. You're always going to catch me in that sense. But there wasn't anything that really stood out to me other than the fact that there seems to be quite a lot of money involved.
So I think I didn't like the trailer. However, it did seem a little strategically made in a way that didn't show off. It has a great cast. Like, this movie has a pretty star-studded cast, like topped with Dave Bautista, but there's a lot of big names underneath that. And I just think it's strategically done that they didn't really give us any of those moments in the trailer. Nor did we get any plot as to where we're at with things. I got a very like Left 4 Dead feel, kind of like a video gamey feel. And I guess Zack Snyder has always erred on that side of things when he's made movies. He leaves
a lot of question marks at the end of his trailers.
But this is definitely the trailer I'd say that did the least to promote this movie as something I need to see.
It missed for me.
Yeah.
Just to put it in plain terms, There's a lot of
there's
zombie
not much
movies.
to hit. Like, that's the problem. Like,
But the thing is if you're showing me great scenes, from a cinema point of view, it looks great.
yeah.
But to your point, I just don't know what I'm grasping on.
But do you think that's intentional? That it, like,
Yes,
they
of
really
course.
just showed you what the world looked like?
Yeah, you don't show me a safe full of money that's printing, and then don't tell me what it has to do with
So
the
it's
zombies.
like a bank robbery during a zombie heist. You know, it's like a zombie
maybe,
heist movie.
Maybe there's an apocalypse happening, and these 7 badass people have figured out that they need to get their hands on money in order to survive in the apocalypse. We've never seen that. I've never seen anything having to do with currency in the new world. So who knows?
So it's a 1 minute trailer. I feel like it was in like the first 20 seconds of just sucking Zack Snyder's dick too. It's like from the guy who brought you fucking
For the guy who brought you this movie,
Man of Steel
and that movie,
and now 300, and then he's gonna bring you the Snyder cut. But first of all, let's get to Army of the Dead.
sounds like every Tropic Thunder trailer.
Yeah, this one,
That's exactly what it
whatever,
was.
man. We'll see how it goes. It's a Netflix movie. Let's fucking.
Let us. And maybe there's a reason we feel this way.
We might be missing the fucking boat altogether.
If you got the inside scoop and we're just shitting on it because it's Netflix, let us know in the comments. We're very open-minded. Very much will probably watch it. Netflix has been getting me on their documentaries, dude.
Yeah,
I've been
hitting you in the feels.
falling into documentaries, whether it's a crack documentary, whether it's a serial killer documentary. I think that's the only reason why I'm paying for Netflix at this point.
I have not watched any Netflix since the time I shit on Netflix.
Yeah, you don't shit where you eat, dude. Why
It's
would you
good.
go back?
That's
You know
what
what I
I
mean?
always say, dude. Don't shit where I
But
eat.
it's funny that you said that they're just sucking the Snyder cut or sucking Zack Snyder's dick, because it's like they kind of have to at this point
Yeah.
to get a little bit of juice flowing for another trailer that we just watched.
This is one that I know when the trailer first happened that I did want to kind of, like, I was really like chomping at the bit to talk about it. And you know what's funny? I've seen this, obviously I saw this 2 weeks ago when it first came out. I've watched it a couple times since, when we watched it again before we recorded here. So I have my opinions morphed, I feel like.
Ooh.
And I'm maybe a prisoner of the moment a little. I think this most recent time was the most I've liked the trailer.
Elaborate.
I just found myself a little bit more caught up in, like, even how I was with like Cruella, where I found myself lost for a moment. This time watching that trailer, it just feels like it's gonna be a fun movie for the most part.
Can I ask you did it feel like a movie that you've already seen?
Yeah, so that's my original issue though with this, is like I can't really see a ton of difference between the original cut, aside from, like, maybe the energy feels a little bit more upbeat and like positive with this. But the last one was really jokey too. I don't know. Maybe this is upbeat and positive in a different way. This doesn't feel like it's a hokey like the last one did. That, like you said immediately, like some of the visuals in this look significantly better, and I think that's an immediate thing that draws you in.
Yeah, that's why I asked if it feels like you're watching the same movie, because if you're going into I don't think the trailer does anything that it's not expected to do. I think it is expected to get you excited about the recut. I think it's reintroducing you to certain characters. We talked about the way Steppenwolf looked really good compared to the first cut. I go into it thinking, I've already seen this movie. How are you going to make this movie better?
Yeah.
And I think that's why I was excited for the trailer, because, man, that first scene that you get to see Darkseid, it's like, okay, now Steppenwolf makes a little bit more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have this understanding that he just comes from the mythical world of Wonder Woman and her mythology and all that stuff. So for me, it answers a lot of questions before I even get into the film, so that I can focus on just enjoying the film as a new film for me. I plan on taking it as a new film and just seeing how it goes.
My initial issue with viewing the trailer weeks ago was not really an issue with Justice League so much as, like, I think that I'm not a huge Zack Snyder fan.
Sure, which is fair.
Of the visual side of his movies. Like, I didn't like Sucker Punch, and I think a lot of that is the way it looks. I haven't liked give me some other ones, because there's just always a texture thing about him, right?
He's got a bunch.
I was gonna say, like, 300 is great, but that's the one that stands out, is like that's the first time he did that kind of comic book blend.
But you remember that after 300, everyone started doing that. We had Sin City, we had Sucker Punch, we had
so Sucker Punch, Man of Steel is the other one that I was trying to find that I just wasn't a huge fan of. Watchmen is one that people don't love, right?
Watchmen, I'm gonna throw myself in that boat again. A movie that most people didn't like. I don't hate it. Visually, I didn't hate it. Thought it was pretty interesting.
I like the girl.
The redhead?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to think of her character name in that. And I'm blanking on it, right?
Malkin Ackerman or something like that. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Yeah. But to your point, visually, he's not always encompassed as like a great visual cut director.
So when I watched this trailer rather, I just felt like it was very yellow.
Okay.
It's like from the very beginning when they're in the Wonder Woman part of the world there, and it's like green and nice, looks like New Zealand or some shit. Looks beautiful, and then all of a sudden it goes to like the Zack Snyder world that is like
dark as
It's like it's yellow and dark, and I don't know. I didn't love that. But like I said, this time watching it, I think I got a little bit more caught up in the action of it, the flow of the trailer. It does feel a little bit more epic. A good thing for me is that the Batman vs Superman like director's cut, the extended cut, is infinitely better than the original, right? So I do trust that giving this guy 4 hours to just put every single scene he filmed of this fucking movie, he's probably going to do a good job. Is 4 hours a lot? Yeah, but you're not making me go to the movies to watch it, so I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with it, and it's also, for me, again, being very story-based. I want to know how you're going to make this story better. Mm-hmm. It should answer all those questions, and if it does, it's worth the 4 hours. For that, it's a documentary, and I'm just kind of putting all the pieces together.
Are you going to be a straight-through watcher, or are you going to maybe separate it into a couple goes?
I'm the sicko who watched The Irishman one time through, and it wasn't even a good movie.
No, I've never seen it.
So if they're able to do what I'm hoping they do with this movie, I could very well see myself on a day off, wife's at work, kids at the grandparents. I am for sure probably going to take this in. But I'd have to plan a lunch because that seems exhausting.
Yeah, you need a meal like right in the middle of it to keep it going.
I'm going to have to take your route and like get popcorn, a lot of butter, midway through, go get more butter. Might have to go that route.
You can make your own popcorn, huh?
I haven't had microwave or make your own popcorn. No idea how long.
I have
white cheddar popcorn
recently. Not my thing. Blasto butter is my preferred flavor. Well, kind of popcorn.
Sounds weird. Are you giving them a plug right now?
Blasto butter? We were talking popcorn. I'm a popcorn enthusiast.
I know you are.
So, like, if I'm gonna buy microwave popcorn, that's typically the kind I buy.
Not a Pepperidge Farm guy?
I didn't know they made popcorn.
I don't know if they do, but I just assumed that they did.
Right, I had no
Pepperidge
idea.
Farm remembers, and they make everything.
Let's move on to more popcorn movies, though, Matt. The last one on our list here, the creme de la creme, I would say for me, the one that I came out most excited for. I'm already tipping my hand on my rankings for this.
You gotta stop doing that.
Sorry, I'm really bad about that. But
you did that in the beginning. You were just like, we're gonna rank them. This one's definitely at the bottom. Just.
Well, see if I remember. The fun thing at the end of me doing this is always seeing if I actually stayed with whatever the original thing. Because I flip on the fucking
you're a
flip
bit
of a coin, right?
Yeah,
toss of a dime.
Toss of a dime.
I don't think that's
but it's one that you and I are both excited for, and it's one that if I'm not a huge trailer guy, we've said that several times. This made me actually like want to watch another trailer. Like that's how excited I was about that trailer.
Some movies need trailers, others don't. Yeah. Right. I think like a Marvel trailer is great, but we're gonna go see a Marvel movie anyways. Something like Mortal Kombat, and especially in the world of video games.
Should we tell them what it was? Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Sorry.
Mortal Kombat.
Look for the soundtrack at the end of the episode.
So we're finally in a world where like the expectation for video game movies isn't that they have to be terrible. Yeah. Not that we've seen a ton of success, but like
we know they have good potential.
There's potential out there, and it seems like people are starting to care. And it seems like, especially with comic book movies taking off so much, that they want more reliable titles to put into movies, especially if you're going to be going directly to streaming with stuff. So Mortal Kombat almost comes along at the like perfect time for this. But to get the mass appeal for people to watch it, I think they had to kill it on the first trailer. Because the movies haven't always held up, right?
No.
They've not always held up, unfortunately.
And to be honest, some of their video games recently haven't been that great either. Personal opinion, if you disagree with me, but just from people that I know who have played it, not a huge fan.
I have not bought it, but the most recent one is one that I always think about buying.
Yeah.
For the mere fact that I think the DLC they've put out for it is incredible.
And they do get a lot of positive feedback because I heard that their DLC packs are really good.
Dude, they've added like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Terminator, Rambo. Like go down
That's
the list.
great.
Like,
if you can
a lot of
update
gimmicks,
if you
but-
can update your game with that type of stuff, fantastic. But it's really got to be, is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
From a storyline perspective.
So I look at this movie and I recently watched also, and I don't know if you've watched it on my Voodoo account or not, but the Scorpion animated movie is on there, and that's pretty good. Like I talked to a friend who's really, really into Mortal Kombat. I'm knowledgeable on it in the sense that I watched both movies when I was a kid. I vaguely follow it now.
I know that there's a huge animation following for Mortal Kombat movies and shows.
Mortal Kombat
I'm
Legacy was really good. I liked that too. The first couple episodes, not so much, but it hit a stride, and I thought it was good.
They only got like 6 episodes into that, though.
I think it was more like 9 or 10.
Really?
But it was a YouTube series.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
But I want
watched
to say
on
it was
YouTube.
closer to 9 or 10, but I might be wrong. I actually have it on Blu-ray.
I was upset they never
Weirdly.
finished that, man. It's good.
So I've followed that type of media, but I don't play every game. The storylines are very hard to follow. But watching this trailer, it hits every note that I think I could want Mortal Kombat to hit.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm always concerned with, if you're bringing or you're redoing a movie, what does your cast look like? And with a movie like this, you have a lot of characters. You have Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Jax, Sonya Blade, Liu Kang, Kung Lao. I could really just
Kano.
keep Kano. I could keep going. Goro, Shang Tsung. You have so many characters.
You're right. Like a plethora, like a very unique look.
Yeah, like this is a very tough dynamic to get right, because you have to nail every one of those characters with a somewhat knowable cast. And what they did, pure genius. You dip into the world of Chinese and Japanese movies and film industry, and you tap into some of their most well-known actors, and you fill out the cast with that and some other big names. And for me, I'm a huge, East Side movie buff. If you've got Eastern movies, Chinese, Indian, Korean, any of those, I'm gonna tune in. You bring those huge actors over and you get them to play these amazing characters that haven't really been justified on movie, in my opinion. It gets me excited, man.
Yeah, it was definitely important, because I think one of the criticisms some of the older movies got is that there's not a ton of diversity between the move sets of the characters.
Yep.
It's a lot of just regular like karate shit, right? Like there's some cool animations with the scorpion from the hand,
Sub-Zero,
some of that, but it still wasn't great. This does a good job of, like, you see all the greatest hits, you see a ton of fatalities. It almost worries me that they blew their load a little bit in the trailer
with the one fatality.
Well, no, the end,
there was 2 of them.
The end had like stacks of them.
Really?
You had the hand through the heart by Kano. You had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, see, there was a whole bunch of them, but to me, I'm like, there's got to be more.
So they've made me, again, like I'm hopeful and optimistic about how that's going to look. The interesting note, though, to take out of this before we get out of here, they introduce a character that's just for this movie, that's not been, and he's not in, or at least this name of the character, it's Cole, I can't remember the last name, but he's in the trailer. He has a birthmark, they say, and it's the Mortal Kombat
birthmark
symbol.
Yep.
He's not from the video games, he's not from the old movies, he's not from the TV series, the animated movies, anything like that. But there are some really interesting theories out there on what he could be. The one that stood out to me, though, was the potential of him being, so there's 2 Sub-Zeros typically. Yeah. And it looks like in this movie that Sub-Zero is going to play one of the major villains. Yep. As does he in the Scorpion animated movie. The Scorpion animated movie.
I thought you were going to say in the first one, he was technically a bad guy. In the second one, he was a good guy.
The Scorpion animated movie, he's like the one of the main bads in that. Okay. From the very beginning of the movie on. In this one looks like it's you just have to stumble across it somehow.
Yeah, I'll find a login somewhere.
So there's some theories, though, that because there's in the Mortal Kombat world, apparently there are 2 different Sub-Zeros. There's a bad Sub-Zero, who's primarily the one you know. Mm-hmm. That's the villain through a lot of it. But along the way, they introduce a good one who takes over the mantle, who's like a little bit more of a hero. Yeah. The theory potentially is that he could be that character, or it's vice versa. He could either be Sub-Zero, the other Sub-Zero, or he could be the son of Scorpion.
Ooh.
Either one.
Either one is good.
Or he could be his own character. But I know it was a big thing that, like, normally for most of us who are just fans of the movie stuff and some of the video games, Liu Kang, I think, is who we normally associate with.
Usually our main character.
The main character. And I'm sure we still get something with him, but it is interesting to be like, we're going to tell a Mortal Kombat story, but we're going to try and tell our own version of it.
It makes it even more interesting to me because now, again, being a sucker for plots and storylines, what is the subplot for guys like Liu Kang, guys like Kung Lao? Like, how are they going to play?
I imagine you're still fighting for the end of the world, and it seems like they all know varying amounts about
the legendary tournament.
What the tournament is.
Yeah.
Like Cole calls it a birthmark.
Yeah.
You know, it's clearly not a birthmark.
I mean, you got branded somehow.
I would say
obviously.
It's a fair assumption. Yeah. So
there's no magic, man.
It does seem like some of them know about it, but not all of them. So that's going to be interesting. Kano, it also... So it's weird. They show Kano doesn't have the eye in the beginning of the movie or the trailer.
See him at the end.
You see him at the end. It looks like he's with Sonya in the beginning, and they're together, probably maybe going to the tournament, and then something happens when they get to the tournament.
Which is like right off the bat, they show you so many like crazy that Sub-Zero finish on Jax. Like,
sick.
He
sets the tone perfectly.
Like I was like, oh well, I guess we know who Jax is, and then it's like, oh, later on in the trailer they introduce him.
Well, you're like,
nailed it,
dude. There's so many like what the fuck moments in that trailer for it being only like a minute and a half long, because some of the shit, like the Sub-Zero when he stabs the ice pick through and catches it on the other side.
Well, no, he slices him. The blood comes out. He
it
freezes the blood,
and then
he uses that as a dagger.
So that's such a good creative way, and I appreciate that they didn't cheap out on any of this. Goro looks great, like an easy character for them to fuck up. He looks really good. I think the scene where Sub-Zero also is throwing the ice in the street. Mm-hmm. I like that there's a diverse environments, that not everything is in the same, like, because a lot of the 90s movie took place in like these darker rooms. There were some interesting fights. Like I think this again, like the Scorpion fight's always going to be the one that maybe is the most interesting. They're in
Johnny Cage versus Scorpion?
No. So the Scorpion versus Sub-Zero.
The first one.
Both of them. You're right. So Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, and also you're right, the Johnny Cage when they're running through like the weird trees.
They're in like so they start off in the forest, and then he takes them to the shadow realm basically.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the Sub-Zero Scorpion scene. They're in like the hall of this old castle where Shang Tsung is, and it's one of the most legendary scenes because that's what the first trailer was. Is you kind of see him run away, does the flip, and then you see him do the freeze. So it's like, man, it I don't want to use the term "it took my breath away," but in every sense of the way, I was like, ooh.
What's going on?
What's
here?
this? It was awesome.
I mean, this is the year we're gonna have, man, where it's like we're looking forward to all of this stuff, and it's not the same as where you used to be like, damn, like this movie's gonna be coming out on this Friday, and I have to go to the movies. But it's a whole different feeling to be like, any other week a movie could just be dropping on my like TV at home. That's like a major movie that I have to see. You know,
it creates kind of a time dilemma because I don't know about you, but I have to be in the right frame of mind to take in a movie. Like if I can't start a movie and be like half in, half out, looking at my phone. I genuinely like to, if I'm excited for a movie, sit down and watch it. So like I gotta put the kid down to sleep, put the wife down to sleep, get a movie in, wake up early, get a movie in. So it's one of those where, you're having to kind of schedule your time. Hey, how am I gonna catch this film? How am I gonna catch this show? And it can be kind of tough in comparison to going to a movie theater.
So let's rank it while we get out of here because we're running out of time on our camera. For me, it goes from best to worst: Mortal Kombat, Snyder, Cruella, Army of the Dead. That's my level of excitement.
Cool. Mortal Kombat, Cruella, Snyder Cut, Army of the Dead, not even on my list.
Oh, flipped it on me. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We appreciate everybody who's come this far with us. Thank you very, very much. Hope you liked the episode. Let us know how you're feeling about these trailers. Maybe rank them down below for us. Your 4 in order. Let us know what your favorite's going to be. Maybe there's one that stands out more than the other. All that good shit down below. Like we said before, Matt, they can hit us in the comments. Let us know all that stuff. They can slap around the like button. We always like to see a like button get slapped once or twice. Yeah. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. Find us at For Those With Good Taste on Instagram.
Tell a friend. And if you haven't done so already, check out 321 Spoiler. Awesome episode. The Gentleman.
Cool. Till next week, guys. We're out. Love you.
Later, guys.
Peace.
For those with good taste.